So Jeff, the class is all yours.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. As Hadidra said, my name is Jeff Hale. I am a process engineer at Halo Inc. Back in between 2000 and 2009, I was in the music industry. I owned a small chain of music stores called Monkey Mambo. And we had moved to our stores. And I was, at the time, we called 50 sign companies to come out and do the graphics on the window and on the monument sign. Of those 50 companies, 3 companies called us back. One company came out, gave us a quote. There's about $3,000 worth of work, and we gave them a deposit. They never showed back up to finish the work. Weakness in the industry, right? 50 companies don't want to answer a phone per $3,000 order, so that was just a note to my mental self. In 2008, 2009, as the market was crashing, we found ourselves about $1.7 million deep in the music business. My business partner at the time lost his wife and kind of lost his mind, and unfortunately wound up being out of business. And not only out of business, but bankrupt. I literally had about $800 in my bank account, and that's the only thing I had to my name. And I remembered back to when I'd moved those 2 stores and said, okay, the sign industry, the temporary sign business, there's a weakness there, which means opportunity in business. So I went on to eBay and I bought a $500 vinyl plotter that operated at about the speed of a snail. And I started a company called Metro Sign Company. At the time we had one principle, and that principle was to be impeccable with our word. And so if we said we were gonna do something, we did it. We said we were gonna be somewhere, we went there. 2010, I got my first big opportunity with a company called RBI at the time. They were in the commercial real estate industry. And they cut me a check for $43,000 as a deposit against an order. I ran out and bought $40,000 worth of equipment and began Metro Sign Company as a real company. Very shoestring budget, and we got our butts handed to us along the way, I guess I would say, because we all know what happened to the commercial real estate industry in 2009, 2010. So that company took me for about $400,000, and we were back to ground zero again. So from 2011 to 2017, this company ran out of my house. I tore walls out, I tore floors out, I did everything possible to stay in business. We shifted gears and became the world's #1, in our minds, we are the #1 banner company in the world. And we sold banners for $2 a square foot across the world. Where everybody else was selling for $6 to $8 a square foot, we sold it for $2. And Nick has been with me for 10 years, and he'll attest to you, we were producing between 400 and 500 banners a day out of my house.
Easily.
So it was a very difficult journey, but it was a long journey. In 2017, or 2016, 2017, again, the market shifted on us. Suddenly, Chinese equipment was really easy to get, and the $1.95 banner was no longer even competitive. Suddenly banners were available for 89 cents a square foot, 95 cents a square foot, so we had to shift directions again. And we came up with a completely different business model. We got out of the temporary sign industry and we focused on the print marketing side of things, because the print marketing side of things was longer term clients. The banner industry was giving us customers, and we needed clients that were repeat, that were bringing $1,000, $2,000 every month to us. From there, we had a very specific vision. Our vision today is we are the preeminent provider of marketing materials for every business in the world. And we are a world-class organization. And we focused on that, and we focused on it, and we focused on it. Similar to right about the same time, we introduced a culture of what's called Kaizen, which is a Japanese culture of constant improvement. I'm sure it sounds like a lot of you are familiar with it. And it's the best move we ever made in our lives. From 2017 through 2022, we've experienced a 60% growth year after year. We never looked back. We started this company, as I said, with a $500 vinyl plotter off of eBay. Today I own $1.2 million in equipment. We do $2 million a year in revenue, and next year we expect to do 3.2. Here's my story. We built the company as wisely as we could. We did not run out and buy equipment. We subcontracted a lot of work until we had enough business to justify the expense, the employee, and the space for that work. So it took, our first year we had maybe $50,000 in equipment. The second year we had probably $150,000. Third year we had about $500,000 in equipment. Fourth year is when we got to $1.2 million. As I said, we consider ourselves to be a world-class organization. So to Halo Inc., it's not what's in the box. It is the box. It's pride, it's purpose. It's one of our 22 principles. Today we have 22 principles. Our number one is we grow people. Our number two principle is still be impeccable with your word. So our number 12 principle is pride and purpose, and nothing leaves our shop without pride and purpose. And we ask ourselves two questions before anything leaves. Number one, is it world class? Number two, would I want this? And if either one of those questions is no, we start over. There's no punishment for mistakes. There's no negativity for bad product. It's a learning curve for us. We look at it as an opportunity to learn, to improve our process. We are insanely process driven. Every single one of our departments has what we call an SOP, but it's really not. It's a book full of QR codes. Those QR codes lead to videos that are on our YouTube channel. We have well over 300, I think maybe close to 400 videos currently on our channel that will tell you how to do and operate every piece of equipment in our shop. It will teach you how to, those videos will tell you how to do every task that is involved in any process. This is, if we leave a legacy behind, our legacy would be the living, breathing franchise business model versus a static franchise business model. When Hitendra asked me to come speak to you guys, I was very excited. I mean, it took me all of about 2 seconds to answer yes. The reason why is supply chain is hands down the most important thing to us. Okay, so we operate. Those of you who recognize Kaizen probably understand the term just-in-time production as well as one-piece workflow. So it's our end goal that product comes in our house in the morning by 10 o'clock and it leaves our house in the afternoon by 4:30. We work on our efficiencies every day. We can, so we'll go back to banners real quick for an example. The average sign shop in this country takes approximately 12 man-hours to produce a banner once art has been approved. It takes us 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Yeah. Okay, so what do you get? So the first 2 hours of our day, we don't work. We don't turn a piece of equipment on. We work on ourselves. As I said, we grow people. So the first 2 hours of every day, we spend 3S'ing, which is sweep, sort, standardize, and then we spend about an hour and a half in the meeting. And it's not your normal boring meeting. It's a true opportunity to express mistakes that happen, defects that happen, help that's needed, growth that's being seen, improvements that were made, and to celebrate our employees and to celebrate what they've done. So we have a staff of 10 people producing $2 million a year. Okay. What efficiency gets you is it gets you this thing called profit. You know what profit gets you? It gets you very well paid employees. Okay, we take very good care of our people.
Let me just interject a little bit here. I think the class would like to hear this. So he invited me over to attend one of his early morning staff meetings. He said, "Why don't you come and attend?" We have to figure out a date, but he said, "Let me give you a warning in advance. Everybody who comes in the staff meeting, all of us, we clean bathrooms."
So everybody in our company leads a morning meeting because we are all leaders. We build leaders. We grow people. We believe in humility. Okay, so everybody in the company cleans the bathroom, including myself. I'm no better than anybody else. As I introduce myself, my title in the company is process engineer. That's everybody's title in the company because that's what we do is we create process and we improve process. My area of focus happens to be different than Nick's. So Nick is a workflow process engineer. So it's his concentration to help other departments in refining and improving. My area of concentration happens to be growing the business, but that doesn't make me any better or any less than anybody else in the company. So everybody in our company is a leader. We build, as I said, we build leaders. Everybody has the opportunity to run the morning meeting, and your reward for running the morning meeting is you get to clean the bathrooms the next day. Okay, so it sounds kind of funny, and we've had people go, "Ooh, I don't want to clean your bathrooms." Yeah. We have the cleanest bathrooms in the world. Okay, because they are cleaned every day, and they are cleaned every time they're used. Because everybody has to clean the bathroom, so nobody wants to leave it in poor condition. So it takes all of about 3.5 minutes to clean.
And I have accepted it, by the way.
He has, and he'll bring it back to you. It takes about 3.5 minutes to clean our bathrooms. And it's a humbling experience because we believe that the culture starts in the bathroom. It's the one area, and thank you for bringing this up, it's the one area in the building we all share. Right? We may not all be in large format, we may not all be in small format, we may not all be in screen printing, but we all use the bathroom. So if you can have respect, if you can leave it better than you found it, if you can make improvements, it all starts there. It's a common shared place. So that's why we start our days in the bathroom.
No, this is great. And one of the other stories I want you to tell the class is your anal retentive banner fixing without the customer knowing story.
So as I said, we consider ourselves a world-class organization. It is of our opinion that we should care more about a project than our customer does, because we're the professionals. They came to us for help. They came to us with a need. So if we don't care more about it than they do, we shouldn't be in business. So we did a job for Maricopa Community College, the Dobson campus as well as the Red Mountain campus. And there was a problem with our welding machine. So we can weld him banners as well as tape him them and a couple other ways to finish them. But we didn't notice it, we didn't know it, because they looked perfectly fine. Well, I happened to be driving by the Dobson campus and I could see from a quarter mile away one of our banners kind of flapping. So I drove into the campus. They were failing, every single banner. This was a $38,000 project. Every single banner was failing. The school had not called us. They didn't say a word. We reproduced 300 banners, went out on a weekend when there's no class in session, and replaced every single one of them. We got a call that next week saying, "Were you guys on campus? Because security reported you." I said, "Well, actually we were, and here's why." As a result, bizarrely enough, MCC just came back to us. We're currently redoing that same job again for them, getting paid for it again. Because we did the right thing, even when no one was looking. And that's part of being a leader. That's part of culture. That's part of who we are. I guess it's the simplest way to say it. So, as I said, supply chain for us, I'm going to show you guys kind of a video towards the end here. But so supply chain to us is important, and the reason why it's important is literally, you'll see in this video, there are no stocking shelves. We do not inventory anything except for what is being used for current projects.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, please. So this is Halo Inc. today.
All right, we'll start off the pledge.
This is how we begin our day.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
having a little fun too.
On your game! I'm not. Wait a minute. Where'd you come from?
This is not permanent ink, is it?
Those are actually gel elasters. Those amazing little things in the world.
Hi,
You can-
Christina Henley.
This is just one of our improvement videos. You can stop it. You can
How
stop
to
it.
set
That's
up your
okay.
Kanban after you.
So this is actually one of our improvement videos. As I said, our channel has well over 300 videos on it. Every time we make an improvement, every time we make a change to a process, we videotape it. You have to say it once that way, right? And you all have heard the telephone game where you may tell her how to do something and she repeats it, but repeats it with one word different and so on and so forth. Well, you shoot a video, that doesn't happen. You get the exact message you want across to everybody. So,
Thank you.
any questions? Please.
How have you gone about recruiting, and have you ever had an employee give you pushback to your just way of doing things?
Absolutely. So we purposefully do not hire for talent. Okay. We believe that the job at Halo Inc. is not to perform a task. The job is to improve a task. Okay. So what we look for people with vision and with drive. We look for people that want to grow. We've hired out of McDonald's. We've hired from construction sites as well as from colleges and from professionals. But the ability to screen print is meaningless to us. We have a process for screen printing. So we can teach anybody how to screen print. What we want to know is, are you an individual that's looking to improve the way that we screen print? Because if you can improve the way we screen print, you will improve your life, right? So we call it working yourself out of a job. A lot of people look at it and say, well, if I work myself out of a job, I won't have a job. Okay. At Halo, if you work yourself out of a job, you get to go do whatever you want to next. It's a beautiful thing. It truly is. And so that's why process is it's so easy for us to create process, because people want to make themselves replaceable. And when you're in the work world, you want to take vacations, you want to have family time, right? And I will tell you exactly, a very good friend of mine, Michelle Serene, works for one of my competitors, and her mother passed away. So she took 3 weeks off because dealing with some family issues. She got back to work and had 3 weeks worth of work sitting on her desk. So not only did she have to deal with her personal issues, but now she has to deal with 3 weeks worth of headaches, plus the work that's still piling up on her desk. In our company, that work wouldn't be there, because you've already created that training process for the next person. So the next person can easily slide in and help you out. And as a result, we cross-train as well. So if we have a huge job in embroidery or in screen printing, let's say, that we can move 3 bodies into screen printing, so that job, instead of it taking us 2 days, that job takes us 2 hours. And we can retool. I don't know if you noticed in the video, almost everything in our shop is on wheels, and it's purposeful, because we retool every day, just based upon the workflow. We just knocked out 80 banners yesterday. Okay, we moved 3 of the tables in order to make that happen. But if you think about that, we produced 80 banners in a day. Okay, most shops couldn't do that in a month. So, any other questions, please?
I want to talk about this morning meeting that you have.
Okay.
So, from an efficiency standpoint, can you describe to me, you're saying everyone's a leader at your company and everyone leads a meeting.
Correct.
And you said that you allocate an hour and a half to that. Is it you cover content up to an hour and a half, or is it that the content is there, if there's an hour and a half of content? So what I'm trying to get at is it inefficient for you guys as a company to spend that hour and a half instead of potentially reducing it to a certain amount by small talk and other things?
By leaning our meetings.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you are absolutely correct. So our meetings aren't an hour and a half. Okay, the structure of the meeting is an hour, right? But we've learned along the way not to truncate the meeting. Right? We eliminate small talk. Chitter chatter gets cut, right? But we have an outline that is a general use outline. It doesn't have to be what your meeting is about. It's your meeting. So if you're trying to run a meeting and you are having a particular troubles with a certain process, the entire meeting could be about that process. It could be what we call our go and see, where we would actually go into that department and we would take a look at the process. So the things we ask ourselves is, what's the idea condition? What's the current condition? And explain why, right? So if we can do those three things, we have a team of process engineers. So as a result, we can fix those, right? So sometimes meetings last 50 minutes. Sometimes they last an hour and a half. It just depends on content for the day. And honestly, sometimes it's, like Mondays are horrible sometimes, I will tell you, it's interesting. I've heard this time and time again, that Halo Inc. is a place where people want to be, which is very rewarding for me. I learned at a very young age the true sign of wealth is the ability and desire to give back. It has nothing to do with money, right? And I will tell you, I'm one of the wealthiest human beings you'll ever meet, because I give back every day. And it's amazing to watch young people and even older people. One of our, Dre Schuler, is 54 years old, and he's a kid, because he's never in his life been in a situation where he was in 100% control of what he did and of his own future. So, next.
Yeah.
I hope I answered them.
With how fast the company is growing or scaling at this point, are you worried with that culture you have, which sounds fantastic, what if you have to expand to other places and say open up more manufacturing with people you don't necessarily know? Would you have to branch out those people, and how would you keep that culture?
So it's interesting you say that. So we test it constantly. I actually have 2 buildings today, and they are across the street from one another. Okay, and so in the last month, we have moved different departments, and we moved an entire department into that other building. People hate me, because it's okay, it's Tuesday morning, let's move. And we are moving 6 pieces of equipment over into another building to test that. Okay, so plan, do, check, act is what we consider it, right? We know it's going to happen, and so how do we perpetuate? And it's not, and the beauty of the culture is that, so if we open a location in Dallas, and that is the growth model, okay, top 25 DMAs, $4 million a year each, right? If we open a location in Dallas, that it's not going to be Phoenix Halo's culture. It's going to be Dallas Halo's culture. As long as their true north is the same, true north is our vision. We are the preeminent provider of marketing materials for every business in the world, and we are a world-class organization. As long as their true north aligns with their culture, we're golden. This has nothing to do with Jeff Hale. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. It has to do with the people. And people are different. Your culture is going to be different than my culture. Your journey is going to be different than my journey. As long as our visions align, so we're all in a boat together, right? If you're rowing that way and I'm rowing this way and he's rowing that way, we're not going to get anywhere. If we're all rowing the same way, we don't have to be in cadence. We're still going to get there.
Yeah, I was going to ask about just your model. You've been talking about how you are projected to take in $2 million this year and then growing to 3.2 next year. Have you run into any constraints for your growth based on this culture that you're building, and how are you running to get around that?
Supply chain is what's killing us. So the culture does not hurt us one bit. So to understand the way that the culture will never hurt us, okay? And the reason being is that the culture is self-rewarding. The process is very simple. You come in, you audit a morning meeting. You see what we are about. You clean our bathrooms, of course, but you come in, you audit a morning meeting. If you like what you feel, what you see, then you shoot a video and tell us why you're going to bring value to our company. We all, as a team, watch the video. We team hire and we team unhire. So there are no decisions that are made by Jeff Hale. It's Halo that makes every decision. And so our culture is the thing that's going to help us get there, not hinder us from getting there. So,
Last question, guys.
Last question?
I have a question.
Please.
You said you had 22 principals
Yes.
for the company.
Yes.
How do you stay focused on all 22? Seems like a lot of things to focus on.
That's a very good question. Let me read them to you, okay? And you tell me if you can stay focused on them. All right. Number 1, we grow people. Number 2, be impeccable with your words. Number 3, leave it better than you found it. Number 4, each of our titles is process engineer. Number 5, everything of value comes after much hard work. Number 6, make 1 2-second improvement every day. Number 7, a person's name is the most important word in the English language. Number 8, enjoy your day by doing the hard things first. Take care of your boulders. The pebbles and sand take care of themselves. Number 9, to understand a real issue, we must ask why, and ask why 5 times. Number 10, when discussing a problem, we need to go and see. Go take a look at it. Don't make a judgment call based upon no information. Go see. Number 11, what must we do to understand our actions? We must reflect. We must hindsight. Number 12, Halo Inc. is always looking to do things with pride and purpose. Number 13, real learning comes when you ask questions. Number 14, I'll trade all the talent in the world for someone with vision. Number 15, Halo Inc. improves with the target of cutting waste in half. Number 16, 2 sides of holding each other accountable. Both giving and receiving person should be humble. Number 17, your success at Halo Inc. will be determined by the fact that you are never satisfied. Number 18, Halo Inc.'s success is in the result of the relentless pursuit of building a culture. Number 19, how do you make a vision stick? You cast it over and over. So the message never changes. Number 20, there are 2 types of people. There are givers and takers. Decide which one you want to be in life. Number 21, Winston Churchill said these words, action this day. Do it now. Don't think about it, just try it. Number 22, Bob Taylor said, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Okay? Which is one of our most important principles. Because everybody says, wait, we got to plan this, we have to project for this, we have to this, right? You don't. Do it. Try it. What are you going to do? Fail? Big deal. You fail, fix it. Okay? So they're not really that difficult to remember, right? It's more of a practice than trying to focus and remember on something. And every single one of those principles is developed to build leadership. So that's how we do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Big round of applause.
Thank you. I don't know the easiest way to do this, but I have gifts for everybody.
See?
So if you want to take one down, pass them around.
They were asking questions because they know there is a quiz coming after this.